On November 15, 2017, a new era began at Ducati. That day, production of the Panigale V4 started. The Panigale V4 is the result of an engineering project based on the supreme performance of the Ducati V4 Desmo GP racer, and soon, the V4 built a new and winning image for Ducati, after breaking its V2 tradition to challenge the world's best multi-cylinder superbikes. Vastly renewed in 2022, Ducati's Panigale V4 now has a new evolution for 2025. In this video we go through all details and 10 key features you need to know about the all-new 2025 Ducati Panigale V4. So stay tuned, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do subscribe right now and hit the bell icon to get notified my future videos. Number 1. Design. Perhaps the most controversial change on the new Panigale V4 is the aesthetic. The new model looks less radical than its predecessor, courtesy of a heavily reworked fascia. The styling of the new Panigale V4 gets some inspiration from the most iconic Ducati sport bike ever, Massimo Tamburini's Ducati 916. You get new LED headlights, flanked by body-integrated wings and redesigned fairings. The latter ditches the much-loved gill-type design in favor of smooth cutouts. This is followed by increased clearance between the fairing and front wheel. Moving backward, there's a reshaped fuel tank that blends with a new seat and a longer tail end. You get more plastics near the tail for aerodynamic purposes, plus an all-new double-sided swing arm underneath. The result is a largely different Panigale V4 from whatever we've seen in yesteryears. Number 2. Engine. The 1103cc Desmosedici Stradale V4 engine might have the same capacity, name and essential layout as the previous Panigale V4's motor, but it's undergone some substantial revisions for the 2025 model year. As before, it has a reverse rotating crankshaft, like the Desmosedici GP race bikes, and the same twin pulse firing order and 81mm bore combined with a 53.5mm stroke. However, the new bike gets different camshafts with more valve lift than before, and borrows parts from higher spec models including the alternator and oil pump from the Panigale V4R, and the gearbox drum from the uber exotic Superleggera V4. In its European edition, the bike delivers 216 horsepower at 13,500 RPM, and 89.2 pounds-foot peak torque at 11,250 RPM. The American enthusiasts will receive 209 horsepower at 12,750 RPM, and 89.5 pounds-foot at 11,250 RPM. Number 3. Racing exhaust. Like the higher revving V4R, the new Panigale V4 engine benefits disproportionately in the power stakes when fitted with a race-only exhaust. Ducati is offering two track-only Akrapovic systems, one with two high-mounted exits, that pushes peak power to 228 horsepower, and a belly-mounted version with a 224 horsepower maximum. A street-legal Akrapovic belly exhaust is also optional. Number 4. Chassis. Compared to the 2022 edition of the Panigale V4, the chassis department has been subject to the most relevant revisions based on the winning experience of the Ducati GP racer. The sheet aluminum structure of the front frame now is slightly lighter, 7.7 pounds versus 9.3. Consequently, there's a reduction of its lateral flexional rigidity, down by 40% over the 2022 unit. This was derived from the fact that the new radial tires and the latest suspension units demand that the frame flexes in order to perform at their best, returning more confidence to the rider. The classic Ducati single-side swing arm has been replaced by a new twin-arm unit of rather unique design featuring arms, formed by two arched structures called the Ducati hollow symmetrical swing arm. It allows the whole exhaust system to be well tucked away under the engine. The new swing arm features a lateral rigidity 37% lower than that of the previous single sidearm unit. Says it back-to-back the double-sided arm and a single-sider on the track, and found not only that the two-sided version was faster outright, but that riders preferred it. Of course, The Desmosedici MotoGP bikes don't use single-sided swing arms for precisely that reason, and Ducati will be hoping that customers will accept the change, as one that's an overall benefit to the bike. Number 5. Suspension System. Ducati's Panigale V4 comes in two levels of execution, the Panigale V4 and Panigale V4S. The two are separated by some meaningful chassis components. Panigale V4 sticks to the tried and true 43mm Showa BPF fork and fully adjustable, gas-charged Sachs rear shock. The V4S is equipped with a third-generation electronically controlled Olints NPX30 gas-charged fork that offers a wide range of adjustment, both for road comfort and for track riding precision. The new Olints unit also features faster responding hydraulic valves, managed by Olints Smart EC 3.0. The same electronic control unit manages the rear Olints TTX36 gas-charged shock absorber, also fully adjustable. Number 6. Braking System. Ducati hasn't left the brakes alone, of course. The 2025 Panigale V4 and V4S both get the latest Brembo High-Pure calipers instead of the previous Stylema, with less weight and improved heat rejection. These calipers also create up to 15% less drag on the discs when the brakes are off, with a resulting improvement in performance and emissions. They work on 330mm discs, with not only cornering ABS but also the first race ECBS combined braking system, developed with Bosch. It can apply up to 15.5% of braking force to the rear and has no fewer than 7 selectable levels. 1 until 5 are designed for tack riding, 6 and 7 for the road. In the most extreme mode level 1, the race ECBS uses a track plus strategy that trails the rear brake to the apex, even once the front brake has been released, without you having to touch the rear brake pedal, replicating the type of braking that MotoGP riders do. Number 7. Features. As with all recent Panigales, the latest model is packed with rider assistance electro-wizardry to eke every last fraction of a second from a lap time, and the list of initialisms denoting those features is vast. But the long and short of it is that the bike has all the launch control, traction control, cornering ABS, slide control, quick shifters and engine braking controls that you could shake a stick at, and most of them have a whole array of subsettings that mean you could spend longer hunting through menus and making tweaks than actually riding the bike. As you'd expect, there's an array of riding modes: Race A, Race B, Sport, Road, and Wet, each modulating a host of settings for the rider assistance systems and altering the throttle response. In Wet mode, power drops to 160 horsepower. Number 8. DVO. The big news for the 2025 model is that most of these electronics are now overseen by a new system that the company calls Ducati Vehicle Observer, or DVO. This uses the 6-axis IMU to simulate inputs from more than 70 imaginary sensors to refine the control strategies. The company says the system was developed by Ducati Course for MotoGP, and that it can estimate the ground forces acting on the bike and the level of load it can bear in a variety of riding conditions. Use that information to tailor the settings of the rider assistance systems. Number 9. TFT Display. The 6.9-inch dashboard, in a 8:3 aspect ratio, offers maximum readability without interfering with the road view. There is a road and a track mode display. In road mode, it featured a very clear round tachometer with the indication of the selected gear at the center. On the left side of the screen, settings and their different functions are displayed. On the right-hand side are the indications for speed, time, water temperature, and cruise control. When set for track, the dashboard shows information about the personal performance of the rider, like lean angle, G-meter and acceleration and cornering, and power and torque percentage used in real time. Number 10. Price. The announced price for the new Ducati Panigale V4 is $25,995, and for the V4S is $33,895. This Italian superbike will arrive in global markets September 2024. The new Panigale has everything it needs on paper to be right at the top of the superbike tree, and its rivals are inevitably the sort of homologation superbikes that its race variant will be intended to compete with on track. But bear in mind that we've yet to see the full crop of 2025 spec superbikes yet, so perhaps there will be a surprise alternative come next year. Well guys, hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and see you the next one.